She walked into my salon with tears disguised as sparkle in her eyes, and a secret that would change 3 lives forever. The sound of the hairdryer still echoes in my memory. The sweet scent of setting spray mixed with expensive perfume, the warm lights reflecting in the mirror, where it all happened. My name's Anna, and I've been listening to confessions in this chair for 15 years. But I never heard anything like Luana's story. Natural blonde hair, hands shaking slightly, designer dress, but with that tension of someone faking normalcy. "Need to talk?" I asked, like I do with all my clients. She took a deep breath, more than you can imagine. She started telling me while I detangled her hair. Married 8 years to Miguel, an architect head over heels for her. They were doing fine until his company went under. Debts piled up like a summer storm. "We were gonna lose the house the following week," she whispered. Miguel still didn't know about the foreclosure notice. The brush glided through her hair while tears rolled down her face. "That's when he showed up," Luana continued, eyes fixed on the mirror. During lunch at the restaurant where she worked part-time, a man approached her. Mid-40s, perfect suit, magnetic presence. "You're even more beautiful up close," was the first thing he said. Eduardo Santana, real estate mogul, rich as hell, lonely as they come. "I've been watching you for weeks. There's something in your eyes, a sadness that intrigues me." Luana tried to pull away, but he continued, "I can help with your problems." How did he know about their problems? Luana never found out. The dryer was off now, the salon almost silent. Just us two, and that secret weighing heavy in the air. Luana continued, "Eduardo asked me to meet him at this discreet cafe, said he had a proposition. At the meeting, he cut straight to the chase. $800,000, cash, to pay off all your debts and start fresh with your husband." Luana nearly choked on her coffee. "In exchange for what?" 24 hours with me. My driver picks you up at 6 p.m. and brings you back at 6 p.m. the next day. Her world collapsed and rebuilt itself in seconds. 800 grand. The house saved, the marriage preserved. Miguel would never know. "That's insane," she mumbled. "That's an opportunity," he corrected. "No consequences, no future commitments." I started blow-drying Luana's hair, but my hands were shaking as much as hers. "Did you tell Miguel?" I asked. That was the hardest part. She came home determined to hide everything, but Miguel noticed her restlessness. He kept pushing until she spilled. His reaction was a hurricane of emotions. Rage, desperation, humiliation, fear. "How dare he?" he yelled. "You're not merchandise." But later, in the silence of dawn, harsh reality set in. The bills, the creditors, the foreclosure notice. "What if I accept?" Luana whispered in the dark. Miguel stayed silent for an eternity. We spent 3 days in internal warfare. Miguel kept going back and forth between absolute no and desperate consideration. "It's just one night," he finally said, voice breaking. "It means everything," she shot back. "Or it means nothing. I can't decide." By the end, Miguel was actually pushing for it, like it really was a good idea. The offer had a deadline, 1 week. On the last day, Luana called Eduardo. "Okay, I accept," she said, voice firm for the first time in months. That day, the driver showed up at 5 p.m. with a box in his hands. Inside was a gorgeous red dress. I put on that dress, and my husband, stunned, finally understood what was really at stake for the first time, but he stayed quiet. The dinner story was whispered between hair strands. Ocean View Restaurant, Eduardo, perfect gentleman, conversations about art, literature, life. He didn't touch me during dinner. We just talked, like we were friends. Afterwards, we went to a hotel, 5 stars, presidential suite. Eduardo was gentle, respectful, almost tender. There was a bathrobe waiting for me by that huge bathtub. "It was weird," Luana admitted. Not what I expected. What did you expect? Something dirty, brutal, but it was almost romantic. I woke up with flowers and breakfast in bed. We spent the afternoon strolling through fancy restaurants and upscale clubs in the city I didn't even know existed. We laughed a lot, and I reflected deeply about my life up to that point. The afternoon was torture, though. We said goodbye, and the driver took me back home as we'd agreed. The guilt was heavy. Luana knew something fundamental had changed. Miguel was waiting at home, kinda awkward, couldn't look her straight in the eyes. "How was it?" he asked, voice barely coming out. "I held up my end," she answered, coldly. The money was in her purse, real, concrete, the salvation they needed. But there was something Miguel didn't know. Luana paused while I sprayed the setting spray. "What?" "Eduardo never touched me." My heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "All night long, we just talked. He said he wanted company, someone to listen to his stories, to not feel alone, and that he really wanted to get to know me better, learn about my life story." "And the money?" "It was real. He paid $800,000 for companionship, for conversation, for making me feel valued for one night." "I should have felt relieved," Luana continued, "but I didn't." "Why not?" "Because I lied to Miguel. I let him believe that I had, it was easier that way." "Easier?" "Because if he knew the truth, he'd know that I enjoyed Eduardo's company, that I felt special, that for a few hours I forgot about our problems and felt alive." The mirror reflected two women, one telling, one listening, both transformed by that confession. "Miguel never forgave me for what he believed happened," Luana finished. "We paid off the debts, but we lost our marriage." "And Eduardo?" "He had disappeared from our lives like we'd agreed, but yesterday, I don't know how he found out about my separation. He called me, asked if I was okay, and invited me for coffee." "And you want to go?" Luana looked at her own reflection in the mirror. "Why do you think I'm here today, on a Thursday at the beauty salon?" And we both started laughing nonstop. I removed the cape from Luana's shoulders. She looked radiant, but her eyes carried the weight of a choice that had changed everything. "Was it worth it?" I asked. "I still don't know," she answered, getting up. "The money saved our financial situation, but destroyed our emotional one. But I think the money just amplified how much of a disaster our marriage was already heading towards." At the door, she turned around. "You know what's worse? It wasn't the betrayal Miguel imagined. It was the betrayal neither he nor I expected." "Which one?" "I discovered there was something beyond my marriage, something I never explored. And now it's too late to go back." After Luana left, I was alone in the salon, her perfume still lingering in the air, the story echoing off the walls. Some proposals test our character. Others reveal who we really are underneath the masks we wear. Luana discovered that the price of financial salvation was finding out her marriage was already broken. Eduardo just exposed the cracks. So, what about you? If you were in Luana's shoes, would you have accepted the proposal? And if you knew it was just for conversation, would you tell your husband the truth? Drop your comment below. Sometimes the best answers come from people who never went through the situation. Because in the end, every choice has a price. And we don't always know what it is until it's too late to go back.
Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.